Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lucy and I share videos about long COVID, chronic fatigue syndrome and similar conditions and different ideas and tips that helped me with recovery. So this particular video is about feeling frustrated with lack of progress, and this is really common and I'm sure some of you can relate to that feeling. So I'm not a medical professional. This isn't medical or mental health advice. I'm just sharing my own experience and things that helped me. So it's really common that we can start comparing ourselves to others and other people's progress, or we can think about previous progress that we've had in the past and how quick that was, or how our symptoms reduced over a short period of time. And sometimes we set up the idea that in 3 months' time or in 6 months' time, I want to be recovered, or I want to be doing specific activities. I want to have met these specific goals. And I think the problem with looking at recovery in this way, or putting a sort of a time scale on it, is that it can add additional pressure and stress where we don't need that additional pressure and stress, and it can feed into causing more symptoms, feeling under more pressure. So what I found helpful to think about is recovery in terms of a lifelong process. So often the skills that help us are around becoming more aware of emotions that are behind symptoms. So that's something that I certainly have had to continue doing and continue working on even after my symptoms reduced and after getting more energy back and being able to exercise again. Symptoms do still arise, and if every time a symptom came up I reacted in a way of being surprised or being frustrated, being disappointed, that doesn't help. It's a natural response. So if that is happening when symptoms come up, that's very normal and understandable. But unfortunately, it does feed back into the cycle that maybe was keeping us stuck in the first place, where we are assuming that those symptoms are physical, that they're not caused by emotions, that there's another reason for them that maybe we need to go and then investigate or research more or find another quick fix or a solution for. So this process is not a simple one that you can just do overnight and be fully better. It's something that you do need to commit to for the long run if it's going to help you. And some people will find it easier than others, and some people will find it easier at different stages of their life than others. Like maybe you made a lot of progress last year and you're wondering, why am I not making that same level of progress this year? It might be because you're implementing new tools, or last year's progress was not kind of deep, meaningful progress. Maybe it was that you were on board with believing you were getting better, and actually there was still a lot of emotional work to do that hadn't been done, and that's why you didn't continue to get better at the time, or why you maybe got more symptoms again. And if we get bogged down in trying to figure out all of the nitty-gritty details of why our symptoms coming up and looking for external reasons, it definitely feeds back into that cycle of feeling stressed, feeling burdened, feeling frustrated. So thinking about recovery as a lifelong process helps to just put our expectations in check, where we know we're going to have to do some work on a regular basis. We know it's going to take time, but also trusting that it is going to work and it is going to help, and what you're doing now is really valuable towards reducing symptoms in future and feeling better in future. And when symptoms come up again, it's not being surprised that they've come up again. We're not aiming to have no symptoms for the rest of our life. What we're aiming for, at least what I'm aiming for, is to know what to do when symptoms come up and for that to work, for that to reduce the symptom or to help me feel better and help me get back to my normal life again. So setting expectations that are realistic can be really, really helpful in the long run, and really helpful for just feeling a lot more stable and a lot more even without every little up and down kind of affecting our mood. So it is very natural to feel disappointed and frustrated when maybe symptoms are coming back unexpectedly. So it's not about pushing those feelings away either. It's about giving yourself time and space to allow that frustration to be there, or allow that disappointment to be there, to maybe do some work on reflecting of what the part that feels frustrated, what is that part what does that part want for you? Trying to get to know that part of you better. And by becoming self-aware, it can help us later down the road as well. So even when symptoms reduce and when you get more energy, life is not all fun and games and simple. Like it can be challenging to get back into normal life again, to start working again, to have a new routine. So if these parts are impatient now about recovery, chances are they'll be coming up again with impatience about something else later in the future. And so this is a process for the long run, where becoming aware of different parts of ourselves can be really, really helpful. So the other thing that can be really difficult is having severe symptoms right here and now for today. It can be hard to get our mindset in the right place. So often what people struggle with difficult symptoms is these ideas that this symptom is never going to go away, or the kind of what if worry that it doesn't reduce, what if it gets worse, what if it stays forever. And if we think about how genuinely scary those thoughts are, it would be no wonder why that could affect us physically. So if you're struggling with really difficult symptoms at the moment, focusing on here and now and today is a good idea. So thinking, I'm doing the work that I need to do and I'm going to get there. And this is how I feel today. There is a level of acceptance that this is how we feel, but also knowing that you're doing the work to get better. So if you're doing the emotion work, you're reflecting on parts, you're seeing that symptom as a potential message or emotion that you're unaware of, and trying to, as best you can, journal about it or meditate on it, reflect on it. That is helping towards you're doing the work, and you can trust that things will improve with time. So reflecting on any parts of us that are impatient, that are frustrated, is useful rather than letting that just drag along day by day by day. It's normal to have these feelings, as I said before, but if we're not acknowledging them, not really allowing those feelings to fully be expressed or explored, it might be feeding back into symptoms and into feeling physically unwell. So even though it can be really, really hard when you're experiencing difficult symptoms right now, or where symptoms have come back, you can trust that this will improve and that you can get better. And to get better, you have to have that belief. it doesn't need to be there 100% of the time, doesn't need to be there really strong every day. But having that belief does really help us to start to relax as well and trust that it is going to be okay. We are going to see improvements, and it starts to break that fear cycle where fear and doubt is actually controlling a lot of the situation. So thank you for listening, and if you have any other ideas of different topics you'd like me to talk about, please write that below. And I have a private Facebook group, and I'll share a link in the description for anyone who wants to join. And if you found this video helpful and you'd like to see other videos like it, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.